On our special interview segment this week, we will be speaking with the Commissioner for Wealth Creation, Empowerment and Employment Generation, Honorable Abdullahi Bego. Thank you for joining us on Impact Yobe interview segment.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with the establishment of this young ministry. It was created on the 15th of October last year. How has it been challenging? I mean, steering the boat.
Well, thanks so much, Michael. This ministry was established, as you mentioned, 1 year ago. And His Excellency Governor Mai Malabuni established this ministry with the sole objective for providing an avenue for young people, boys and girls, men and women, all people across the state, but especially with a focus on the young, to provide a platform for them to improve their economies and the economies of their families and the economy of Yobe State by providing entrepreneurship and skills training and mentoring, by providing capital for business development, for startups and for scale-ups. All these are why His Excellency the Governor created the ministry.
Would you want to share with us the motive behind creating this ministry?
Well, like I said, this is part of why His Excellency Governor Mai Malabuni created this ministry, to help the people of the state, but especially the young, the youth of the state, to have an opportunity to develop and establish their own businesses, to be able to grow those businesses by getting skills and entrepreneurship trainings, by getting capital, not just from the state government, but from other sources as well, so they can establish new startups and scale up existing businesses, and in the process improve their own economies, the economies of their own families, and the economy of the state. Because His Excellency believes that Yobe State government alone cannot provide all the jobs that our young people require. There are so many young people graduating from our colleges and our polytechnics and universities all across the country, and it's simply impossible for government alone to provide direct employment to all of them. And I can tell you that across Yobe State today, there are young people who would rather establish their own business than even join government service, all right? Because the global trend today is economies are powered by the private sector, not by governments. Governments are supposed to provide services like water supply, like electricity, security. When it comes to developing economies, when it comes to helping businesses grow, that's essentially the job of the private sector. His Excellency wants to spur the private sector in Yobe State to do more. That's why we have this ministry in place.
All right. Part of the responsibility of this ministry is enhancing the potential of the state, for revenue and employment generation. Can you tell us more about that?
His Excellency, for example, has established new markets, modern markets across the state, in Gashua, in Damaturu, in Potiskum, in Nguru, and now a new contract has been signed for a new market in Gaidam. These are our major towns in the state. When you have businesses that are growing, the capacity to improve revenue generation is there, right? And when you have businesses recruiting more people, because there is opportunity for them to recruit, to bring new people on board, because business is thriving, because the market is good, generally speaking. That redounds to the capacity to improve business, and redounds to the capacity to provide employment. And it also redounds to the capacity to improve revenue generation for the government, which in turn will mean that government will have more capacity to provide services to the people of the state. So it's a whole value chain of opportunities and capacities to do more for the people of the state.
All right. Establishing of the ministry is an ambitious move for His Excellency. What are the strategies you are adopting in terms of succeeding?
Yeah, that's a very important question. And so far, we have been doing a lot of internal work within the ministry, liaising with other sectors and agencies across government to ensure that we adopt an all-hands-on-deck approach to providing the services that His Excellency intended for the people of the state by establishing this ministry. And we've also reached out, to other agencies of government at the federal level, such as SMEDAN, for example, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, the National Directorate of Employment, NDE. They all have presence in the state. Their offices established in the state and in the Northeast sub-region, many of them in Maiduguri. That's why we've been working across the board to ensure that we have the linkages and liaisons and networks that will help us do our job. And in addition to that, His Excellency is keen to help us start off on a very sound footing. That's why as you come into these premises, you know that something is really happening. We have all the support that we require from His Excellency, the Governor, to ensure that we have a very smooth start. And we are poised to launch the most ambitious, the most wide-ranging set of empowerment initiatives for the people of the state that is totally unprecedented.
Engagement with development partners and non-government organizations is very, very essential. So how have you been doing that in terms of partnership?
There are a lot of civil society organizations, the civil society community in Yobe State that is very active and vibrant and that has been helping the state government, achieve the objectives of recovery from the ravages of all these years of insecurity that we have had. And thank God with the effort of the federal government through our security agencies, with the unflinching, unyielding effort of His Excellency the Governor to ensure that peace fully returns in the state. And with the ongoing partnership with these non-governmental agencies, Yobe is a much better place today. And we're leveraging on that as a ministry to ensure that these non-governmental organizations also provide the support that will help us deliver the services we intend for the people of the state. So we're discussing, we're talking, some of them have come visiting the ministry. A lot of meetings have taken place, and this is what we will be doing going forward. Remember, this is a ministry established for the long term. This is not a committee. It's not something that is bound to stay for a month or two or for a year or even for a term. This is something that will last for as long as Yobe lasts by the grace of God. So this is a work that will go on for a very long time to come. And for this reason, we are taking a very methodical and very scientific approach to the relationship that we will be having with various agencies and organizations and sectors. And we hope to be able to establish a pattern that will continue even after we leave this ministry, because the ministry will outlast us. There is no question. We will leave, some other people will come, they will also leave, others will come. Going forward, Yobe has been in place, for example, for the last 30 years, and since the system is in place, individuals come and go. So we want to establish a system that works for the state, that works for the people of the state.
All right. Apart from Yobe being an agrarian state, Yobe also has some commercial potential. How is the ministry leveraging on this?
Well, let me say this very clearly. We have the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They are responsible for doing that part of the question that you ask. But like I said, this is a systems approach, right? The Ministry of Commerce and Tourism will do its own functions, will do its own work by ensuring that businesses in the state organize and all that. Ours is to provide the fillip that these businesses need, the capital that they need to grow or to expand, strengthen their capacity to recruit and to employ, and in the process spread wealth across the state. That is why we are the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Empowerment and Employment Generation. It's not that we are going to make people wealthy, it's that we're going to spur them to the circumstances and the conditions that will help in ensuring a wealthy and healthier society. So over time, the work will reach out to all other sectors like commerce and industries, like agriculture, for example, Ministry of Women Development, Women Affairs, right? All these are areas that will continue to work together to ensure that women and men, boys and girls, young and old, that all these people in the state have the support that the government can provide, the support that they need to make of their lives what they will. That is what we are here for. So it's like a work that the result of which you will not see today or next week or next month, but it's a work whose result you will see over time across Yobe State with an improved economy, with people doing better in their own lives and in the lives of their own family. So this is how we're approaching this job.
All right. One of the policy thrusts of the ministry is entrepreneurship and mentorship program. How is the ministry sustaining this?
Yes. In terms of entrepreneurship and mentorship, we're having programs that will help, especially these are programs that are especially designed for the young people. For example, very soon, as part of our takeoff, we plan to enroll many youth in a program on shoemaking, right? Yobe has possibly the largest cattle market in the whole of West Africa. That's a very important area. And we have a lot of hides and skin, right? We are in partnership, in talks already with a young person, incidentally, very young person who just graduated from the university like just a few years ago, was so passionate about his skill as a shoemaker, went to the Bank of Industry, got support, and established a shoemaking factory. He's doing excellently well. He was wearing one of the shoes that the young guy made, and I'm so proud to do that. This is made in Nigeria, made in Maiduguri, right? It's unbelievable. So we have already signed a partnership arrangement with him. We haven't signed an agreement yet. We'll be signing an agreement very soon with that young person. He's going to come here to Yobe State, establish a workshop where we're going to bring in young people across the state at government cost. Government providing all the cost, or all the financing, all the funds needed for that training, so that we train these young people to go and set up shoemaking shops, if you like, right? And at the end of the training, government will also provide the tools and the kits that they need to start right away. And the ministry will provide the oversight needed, ensure that they are able to set up their own shops, ensure that they start off on a very good start.